If you feel frustrated because there are patterns that you're repeating even though you know better, if you feel like there's something invisible holding you back and blocking you, there's a reason why. There was this very sticky, gunky web sitting on our planet, and it's being removed at the moment. And as it does, it reveals a grid underneath it, a grid of light, a grid that was always there, only obscured. And as that grid of light is uncovered, it also reveals something deep inside of you. Here's something that changes everything. This is not the first time that we've had that web, that gunky, sticky cobweb pulled off of the planet. I'm going to explain to you where it comes from, what it is, and who keeps putting it back there. Because if this is not the first time it's been cleared, something or someone is continually reinserting what is, for all intents and purposes, an overlay, a field of distortion that echoes into your vibratory field and messes everything up. You see, we're like toddlers with a crossbow. You know, you can be incredibly cute and cuddly, but at the same time scary and messy, because humanity ultimately has no idea how powerful they are. And we're in a journey right now, not just to figure out how powerful we are, but to reclaim that. So that feeling that you sometimes get stuck in, it is sticky because it is a web. And we always have lived in some kind of veiled environment. We were born to a world that had a veil around it, shrouding it from the cosmic realm around us. The veil was a veil of separation. And that which surrounds the planet, very importantly, also surrounds you. So that which is happening at the planetary level is also happening at the deeply personal and most intimate level as well. So when we have a veil that separates us from the divine cosmic field around us, we have a feeling inside of us of feeling very disconnected, isolated, lonely, and separate. Not belonging, not a part of. And this living in isolation also makes us feel like we're in fragmentation, like we're just little parts of the whole, but never the whole. And that veil that we were born to is part, or I should say was part of the matrix of control that was a part of the false matrix, the illusory realm that we're transcending. The journey of humanity is a journey of transcendence from one realm to another, one state of being to another. But it feels so contradictory to us because what we normalized was the separation. No matter how abnormal and dysfunctional that was, that's what we were born to. The Galactics, they're a group of non-terrestrial beings, fifth dimensional and beyond. The Galactics saw what was happening with humanity, and they knew two things. Number one, they knew we can't do this loudly. Meaning we can't step onto the planet and make a spectacle and call everyone's attention and say, hey gang, we've arrived. Why? Well, because humanity has a tendency to fall to their knees and disempower themselves to anything that they believe to be more powerful than them. Humanity is on a journey to reclaim their power. And the Galactics knew that if they did this approach, and they worked with what was going on the planet, they knew that it would derail our transcendence into a higher realm and a higher frequency. They also knew that we couldn't reach the broadcast signal that was being beamed at planet Earth that was propagating and amplifying the frequencies of disconnection, the frequencies of the veil, essentially. So the veil was a broadcast signal that was coming from outside our planet. And it was keeping the planet shrouded, disconnected, humanity feeling exactly the same isolation and loneliness, which is almost this great contradiction. If you think about it, we live on a planet of billions of people, but we all feel stiflingly lonely. What a crazy contradiction. That's part of the abnormality that we were born to. As much as we normalized it, the Galactics could see, something has to change. That was what they did. They removed that broadcast signal that was sitting around our planet that was being beamed at us from the outside. So outside in our solar system, they took down the original source of that veil. But they also knew something was going to happen, and that was that humanity would recreate the veil, but they would do it on planet. And that was okay. Okay, because it would give us a fighting chance. It would level the playing field. By the way, that happened in 2012, that taking down of the broadcast signal. And that's why 2012 is the year where everything shifted. It's the year where timelines started converging. It's the year where that broadcast signal came down. But humanity has this tendency to keep recreating from their past. So even when that external broadcast signal is no longer playing, humanity, it's kind of like when you hear a song and you get an earworm and you just can't get that damn song off your brain. It just keeps playing, right? It's uninvited. You wake up and there's the song. It's the same kind of thing. We create from habit. We create from memory. We create from familiarity. And when we've become acclimated to pain, distortion, trauma, dysfunction, inadequacy, not good enoughness, feeling that we are weak and incapable and powerless, when those become our states of being that we know as our home state, then you better believe it. We, the human beings, will recreate it. So ultimately, there is a group of beings on this planet who is more powerful than the archons themselves. The archons being a group of very malevolent beings who initiated the false matrix in the first place. But look at that. All along, humanity was the power source that was driving creation, so powerful, in fact, that when the archonic veil was taken down, humanity recreated it. We didn't do this because we're bad. We didn't do this because we're wrong. We didn't do this because we're just stupid old humans. We did this because it's automated into our programming. But remember, fighting chance. Leveling of the playing field. When something is on planet as opposed to being broadcast from the external, we can remedy it. It's almost within our grasp, within our reach, much easier. So how is the broadcast signal different now? If the veil that we were born to, that great veil of separation, is down, but we still have one on planet, how does it work? It uses on-planet technologies. Now, be careful how you hear this, and I'm being careful how I say it because I'm so often misrepresented and the words that I say are misconstrued. I want to be very clear about how I'm putting this forward. I'm not saying to you that the veil that is now an on-planet veil is being broadcast from malevolent, let's say, telecoms signals. 5G, cell phone towers, the works. Electromagnetic frequencies on planet. We've got all this distortion. We're all walking around with cell phones in our pockets and microwave ovens in our kitchen and so forth. So there is a field of distortion on the planet, something unnatural, inorganic. And that becomes a part of conveying the interference wave. It's not the originator of the signal, though. It's the means through which the signal is transferred. But the signal itself comes from humanity, comes from the human beings like you and me. And that is way more empowering than you might realize, because Once we understand the nature, the mechanics of how that grid operates and who operates the grid, we also understand that we are part of the human populace, and we do not need every human being to watch this video and agree with our viewpoints. We do not need that. What we need are lights, like you, like me, beacons of light upon this planet, who embody ourselves by taking personal responsibility, which happens when you stop blaming the world out there and start changing the world in here. When you start getting powerful enough to want change and not demand that somebody else gives it to you, but to instigate and initiate it from within, from within. At that point, you as the human being pull out of the collective agreement to create the interference pattern that forms part of the on-planet veil that looks like a cobweb, looks like this dark, sticky cobweb. And isn't it funny that we have the term dark web? So I'm not referring to the internet dark web, but to an energetic web of darkness. When you become a beacon of light, not only do you pull out of the co-creation of that veil, you also become part of lighting up what lies beneath the veil, which is an on-planet grid. That is natural. That is part of the organic, luminous nature of you, the human being, and of the planet Earth. Remember, what happens at the planetary level happens at the personal level. At the planetary level, when the light was covered up, shrouded by the veil, the planet couldn't ripple it out, couldn't exude it. You were exactly the same. At the internal level, when you choose love, choose compassion, choose forgiveness. And when I say these things like love and I say forgiveness, I'm talking about of self, forgiveness of self. That becomes a master signal that allows for you to reignite from the inside. And that which is lit up from within catalyzes that 5D grid that exists on the planet that's being uncovered now because enough human beings are awake enough, aware enough, and in love enough to stir those lights and to bring them back online again. So our home frequency becomes aligned to our true home and to our true nature, which exists beyond this illusory realm. Remember that our role was always to bring home here. Not to go home, not to jump ship, not to leave this joint and go somewhere better. This popsicle stand called Earth was never supposed to be discarded. We weren't going to blow the popsicle stand. We were going to illuminate it. And this is how. So as these lights come back online, you may feel very vulnerable. You may feel very exposed. And there are times when you can feel totally wiped out energetically. You can just feel, whoa, this goes beyond tiredness. I don't even know what this is. This is because there's a new circuitry coming online, quite literally, energetically. You are rewiring, realigning, and all of this work is taking place on the inside. So your eyes don't see it and your brain doesn't compute it, but boy, your body knows it. Your body feels it. And unfortunately, this can create that tired but wired energy where you need the rest, you need the sleep and the downtime, but you may find it a little bit difficult to get into a state of deep rest. Energetic rest, therefore, is important. When you can't have sleep, the next best thing, and actually not even the next best thing, the best thing, is oftentimes energetic rest, which is obtained in meditative states, in states of higher consciousness. That is the work that I truly am devoted to. It's the work that I teach in my online community. You'll know if you feel called to it because something inside of you is going to tingle and it's going to buzz and it's going to go, ooh, just that, ooh. I'm being called higher, to elevate beyond the state of being that I currently know. And the details for joining are going to be in the video description box. And if that zing pings into your field, then answer the call, because it's time for each of us to meet our own selves, to meet our own needs. Remember, we're becoming responsible custodians of our own energetic field now. No longer does the grid control whether we're capable of connecting with our own soul or not. We do, we choose, and we align. See, one of the things that happened when we were born to planet Earth is we were disconnected. We were disconnected, and in fact, the word is severed at the crown, energetically severed from our own soul. That's what the veil did to humanity. It caused a blacking out of the memory of where we'd come from. So we couldn't connect to the true self. We could only connect to the illusion, to the illusory self and the illusory plane that we were navigating. And that's why we felt so damn lost. As that web gets cleared, we become clearer. We start to remember more of our truth. And please know this, it doesn't come online in words. It comes online in knowing and frequency and feeling. So you will feel fuller, you will feel deeper, and you will feel more, as if there's more of you and more to you. You're more substantial somehow. You matter more in your own world. You have, in a sense, more energetic gravity, because you do. Now, this web has been cleared before, but we haven't kept the field clear. Do you see, as much as the Galactics removed in 2012, they removed that broadcast signal, they've also worked with humanity behind the scenes multiple times since then to clear the residue of the gunk that we build up by drawing on the familiarity of our own past. Multiple times they've come in to clear away that sticky, dark web. And this time, there are enough human beings that are conscious of what's going on, conscious of the fact that we have to maintain a clear space for ourselves. We have to maintain clarity in our energetic circuitry, clarity in our field. It's not something given to us. You see, so often people say, oh, I wish, Carrie, I wish ascension would happen. I wish it was here. I wish somebody would just pull the lever, hit that switch, do whatever needs to be done, but cause ascension to happen already, without us realizing how powerful we truly are. Toddlers with crossbows, I'm telling you, that's the human being. When we realize that we were always the power of this planetary realm, it's going to be the most revelation that we could encounter. To understand the depth of our creative power, it's going to first awaken us, and then it's going to make us laugh when we realize, my God, all of this time we were asking for somebody else to fix what only we could. But we're just so ingrained and so programmed to imagine that external control controls us. Now remember this, you're either in control or you're in power. One of the two, not both. Control is a fear-based energy. Power is a truth-based energy. Power is when you let energy flow, and control is when you stifle it. So see what we're letting go of? We're letting go of control. We're stepping into power. And as we do, we're able to maintain the clarity within our field. You are a field of energy long before language, long before words. You existed as light. You existed as energy. And when you revert to a relationship with self based on that light, based on that energy that you are, the original signature of you, when you can touch that, then you are truly remembering who you are. That's your home state. The more you're in that state, the more you become a part of that which conveys the light grid, the 5D grid, and the new earth grid coming online right now. So as we're being swept clean, you may feel a little bit detoxy. You may feel a little bit like you're out of sorts, out of sync. Something is just weird and wonky. But the truth is, everything is coming online. Surrender, because it's new and it's unknown, and you're not meant to control your way through this or think your way through it either. From my heart all the way to yours, we live in the most exciting times. And I'm so grateful that I get to share this with you.